everyone, and welcome to Spaghetti Myers Harper, if you did not know. And today I'll be making for the first time in my life spaghetti and meatballs from scratch. We're gonna do it all from scratch. No, pre-made blah 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 blah, except for the actual stuff like I can't make flour, I can't make an egg. After that, it'll be from scratch. But a caveat, I will be not making the tomato sauce because I am exhausted. I've been filming back to back, and I just don't have time to make the tomato sauce too, even though it might be easy. I have marinara sauce that, actually is a little old, so I want to get rid of that now. So more or less, only the spaghetti and the meatballs will be from scratch. But it still should be pretty fun. More or less, as the title has said, and as I've said a million times, I have never made these things before. I'll be doing my first time in my life. And of course, I'll be filming the ups and the downs, the successes and the failures, me more or less freaking out and completely, throwing all my progress down the drain with one little mistake. And more or less, at the end of the day, I'll be saying, number one, does spaghetti and meatballs actually look good? But more importantly, do they actually taste good? But with that, let us begin. Okay, so first thing we're gonna do is start preheating the oven, and we're going to start boiling the water. Don't look at the stove, I need to clean it off, but more I was gonna put this on here, give you a terrible, motion sickness from that whole experience, but yeah. So that's the first step, is just preparing everything, and it will go on with the actual preparing the meatballs. Okay, so this should be pretty easy, just like, making the meatballs themselves. It's just, if they actually taste good with the recipe that I'm using, which I'll have in the description down below, so check it out there. But more or less, we got our ground sirloin. We're just going to toss it in the bowl. Yes, that's what it's called. And then we're gonna have the Worcestershire sauce, breadcrumbs, and cheese. I usually have freshly grated Parmesan cheese with me. I have a Parmesan block, and then of course I grate it by myself. But I finished it off a couple days ago, so I'm not using freshly grated Parmesan cheese. So apologize if you get triggered by that. And then we're gonna put the garlic in, nicely cut up. Season with some salt and some pepper, because the worst thing you can do is have unseasoned meatballs. They taste disgusting and I hate them. And then we have to beat this egg, so I'm just gonna beat the egg in this thing. So we're just gonna cut, yep, there we go. Thankfully it is not rotten. Beat an egg in there, going to do that. And then the really fun part, we are going to use our little handsies, and actually I'm going to take off my watch because this watch is way too expensive to get disgustingly dirty. Now, we're going to just, do this, get it all in here, after you wash your hands of course, which I have, because I am a fancy person and I don't want to get sick, because that would suck. More or less, I'm just going to, mix this all together and get back to you when I'm done. Okay everyone, we are back. I have the mixed up mixture for the meatballs. I also have a pan. It is old, it is not dirty, trust me. I put some olive oil on it, so I'm just gonna grease it up nicely. And then we're going to, what the heck is this? And then we're going to start making the meatballs. Now, it said it has to be 1.5 inches. Do I know what 1.5 inch meatballs look like? Absolutely not. Can I look it up? Probably. Will I look it up? Which is the real big question. Nah, that's the fun of the video. But more or less, I'm going to guess, which has always worked out nicely for me. And if they're not, correct, we're going to deal with that. But again, okay, so the oven just finished preheating, which is great. But I'm going to say this is nice enough. And then, yeah, so as before, I'm going to just speed up the footage, listen to my podcast, get through all this, and then get back to you when I'm done. Okay guys, so we finished it up. So here is the beautiful meatballs we have. They might be the wrong size, but I believe they're not the wrong size, and that's all that matters. Oh no, Sebastian, don't scratch that, don't scratch that. I'm gonna put this in the oven for around 10 minutes, and then we'll go and start making the actual pasta. So pretty excited so far. I'm very hungry, so I am pretty, I'm anticipating this will be a really good dish, hopefully. Okay, so first things first, we're going to pour in the flour and the salt into the bowl. There we go. We're making a well in the flour, add the beaten egg. So we're going to do the same thing before and use the same concept because, you know, why do you want to waste more dishes on things that you can just, you know, recycle and use the other ones before? That made no sense at all, but more or less we're just going to beat the egg again. This feels a little bit of deja vu. And then pour it into the well. You guys can see that. There we go. There we go. And then we're gonna mix everything together. I'm just gonna use this because, you know, whatever. So mix everything together like so. That is not how you make pasta. I know that for sure. I've seen enough videos online to know that that was not the right way. Yeah, this needs water, so I'm going to use the water because this dough is way too dry. I've also read that using a little bit of olive oil is really good too, so I'm going to pour in a little bit of olive oil too. That might have just made the whole thing disgusting, but I'm going to trust it didn't. Now, I'm going to create a lightly floured surface and actually start kneading this because that's a thing. So give me 1 second and then we'll do that too. Okay, just gonna move this around and then pour out our flour. Wow, this is, okay. So this looks like a mess, but I'm just going to knead this and get back to you if there's any developments and listen to my podcast again. So yeah. Okay guys, so I think we got it. Some more water, a little bit of oil, and I think we have some nice dough. So I think the meatballs are literally almost done. I heard the little beep telling me that I have a minute left. So I'm going to take this out of the oven, show them to you guys, and then actually start making the pasta. But yeah, so this looks nice. I think we're okay, and we're gonna go on the next step. Okay guys, so we're looking a little bit like this. I'm gonna actually let them stay in the oven. I'll let these meatballs cook for the bare minimum amount of time. So I think that if they cook a little bit more, that will be okay. They probably aren't actually done on the way. If they are, that'll be my fault, but I'm just gonna let them like hang out here, maybe have the oven open, blah, 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 blah. More or less, let them hang out while I actually make the pasta. So yeah. Okay, so we're going to knead out this dough to more or less the thickness of spaghetti. It might be a little bit too thin, it might be a little too thick, but we're just gonna deal with that as we go along. So I'll probably speed up this whole process again because there's not a lot to like write home about at this point. We are going, you know, through the paces. We're making the dough, the meatballs are done. I need to find the marinara sauce in the refrigerator, and then we're more or less going to assemble, and then, you know, of course, see if it actually tastes good or not. I think at this point, it's not really about, you know, is the recipe hard or whatever. It's more like, will everything come together to create a delicious dish? There's 3 separate recipes, you know, homemade pasta from allrecipes.com, and then we're making a meatballs from a recipe that actually included marinara sauce, and that's coming from, I forgot where I got it from, but I got it from somewhere else, of course. And then, of course, finally, we have pre-made marinara sauce. So I would be very, very excited and surprised if everything worked out, you know, if everything came out and turned out to be really great all together, because sometimes, you know, things don't work together sometimes. That's like for life and for cooking at this point, but that's really all to really write about. I'll continue rolling out this dough to make the pasta, and then I'll get back to you guys when I finish this annoyingly arduous process. Okay, so we have our amazing, beautiful, just a minute, noodles. I'm just trying to like get them all dusted with flour, but it's not working out very well. Is this the right way to dust them with flour? I don't think it is. No, they're all sticking together. No! You better not be a hot mess in the water because I'm gonna cry if you are. But yeah, we have these beautiful noodles. They're kind of, you know, thick, but they kind of look like worms actually. It's kind of weird holding them. I can't tell if they're okay or not. Do I put more flour or do I just leave it like this? That is the ultimate question. I'm gonna say they're okay. They're not okay, but I'm gonna say they are. So we're gonna go over to the stove, let the water actually boil because it's been like kind of like simmering, boiling for the past like 20 minutes. And then we're gonna start boiling these for probably around like 2 minutes or so. Okay, so we're going to pour in the noodles. Do I just pour them like this? This looks wrong. This feels wrong. This looks okay. Yeah, that did not look right. Okay, so mistakes were made. Oh, come on. Is there... Oh, shoot. Okay, we're gonna put this on for 3 minutes because I don't trust myself at this point. Do I just mix them around and they'll be okay? Oh, I think they're gonna be okay. Okay, I think we're okay. This looks okay. This looks right. They're not a huge bunch anymore. They're kind of spread out now. Okay, so the spaghetti has just been drained. We have some of our pre-made marinara sauce, which I'm hoping is not going bad because, yeah, but more or less, we are going to toss in our beautiful spaghetti. It kind of reminds me a little bit of my gnocchi video. It looks kind of like my gnocchi, which probably can tell you what my gnocchi looked like. If you want to see that video, there'll be a link like over here or whatever. But more or less, we're just going to just, you know, mix this around nicely. This actually doesn't look that bad. It looks weird. Oh God, dang it! Okay, just dropped it all over everything. That looks, oh gosh. Okay, just gonna deal with that later. But more or less, back to me talking about how well everything went right before I accidentally, you know, made everything worse. But yeah, I think I have enough sauce, so we're gonna deal with that as it goes along. And then I'm gonna bring over some Parmesan cheese just to sprinkle in right now, just a little bit to kind of incorporate into the dish. But more or less, I'm pretty excited. This does not look that bad. It smells really good, and I'm hoping everything will come together to be perfect and amazing. But with that being said, I'm going to actually dish this up. Okay, so we are back. I have everything plated up like so. It looks really, really nice, but we're gonna try this out and see if it actually tastes as good as it looked, or does it taste even better. As we before, I'm worried that all the parts together won't taste good, and I'm also a little worried that the spaghetti is not actually cooked all the way, and the marinara sauce is old, but it smells really good. So I'm just going to cut into a meatball to show you guys what it looks like. Okay, let's see how it tastes. Okay everyone, so I've had a little bit, actually quite a lot, but I couldn't finish it all because I just got pretty full. But this was a very disappointing dish. Even though it was like so simplistic and all that, I had a lot of like, you know, high hopes and all that. And after I saw the meatballs, I was like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be so great. And then I tasted it and I was like, oh dear. So we're going to, you know, just sparse through every single thing and tell you why I am not very happy. So number one, the garlic in the meatballs, it didn't cook all the way. It didn't even cook a little bit, I don't think. And so every single bite I had, I really could taste the garlic, like raw garlic, which if you have had raw garlic in dishes, it's not the best. It gets really unsettling very quickly, and that taste stays with you for the rest of the day. After that, the meatballs weren't that bad. You know, they were cooked all the way through. They weren't really flavorful except the fact that, you know, that they tasted like garlic. And the problem is, like, maybe I could have like chopped the garlic thinner, but I got it pretty thin. You know, it wasn't like huge big clumps where it could be like, you know, my fault. No, they were pretty thin. So if I don't know, maybe they were supposed to be more, like, you know, maybe they're supposed to be more minced, or maybe not more minced, or meatballs are supposed to taste like garlic, but more or less that was really unsettling. Then going on to the spaghetti itself, it didn't taste like it was already cooked away. That's weird to say because, you know, it's not like, you know, it's fresh, so it shouldn't have taken that long to cook, but it was very like doughy, and I think it was just like really thick, and it didn't really have anything else with it. You know, I hadn't really mixed the marinara sauce together very well, so it didn't able to, you know, imbue the dish or whatever, but it tasted really like bland and doughy. Marinara sauce, I think it might be going a little bad, like not completely. It was kind of soury, and again, that might be just like how marinara sauce is supposed to be. I've had a lot of marinara sauce in my life, and it's mostly always been like that for me. I've always had to use a lot of, like, you know, cheese. Also, I love cheese, so you know, that's another thing too. But more or less, usually marinara sauce is supposed to, you know, kind of combine everything together, bring the things together, bring the spaghetti, bring the meatballs together. It's supposed to be kind of the glue that keeps everything together, and it just did not live up to its goal or, you know, its requirement. So my fear of, you know, too many things, like, you know, separate things come together and did not work together, it came true. You know, all the fears came true. It just did not taste very good, and that could be just because, you know, inadequate ingredients or inadequate preparation or just inadequate recipes. Couple of those, all of them, one, none, literally anything, but it just didn't taste very good, and I was very disappointed because I was so excited to like make a spaghetti meatballs from scratch. But from that being said, when it comes to rating, 1 out of 10, 1 being I can't even finish it, it's absolutely terrible, 10 being it's amazing, I finished it, I want to have it again, I will make it in the future and be happy about it, I'm gonna give it a 6. It was barely above average. I'll have it and I'll be okay with it, but I'm not very happy with how the dish kind of turned out. But with that being said, of course, if you like this video, and want more from watch, just subscribe. I hope you guys have an amazing day. I will see you next time, as usual. Goodbye.